This is the vibration buried beneath all matter, the secret pulse that ancient mystics called the breath between realities. They never taught you this in school, because if they did, the veil would shatter. If you're still here, if something pulled you to this moment, it means you were meant to hear what I'm about to tell you. Beneath the atoms, beyond the particles, between each tick of the clock, there is a stillness. But it is not empty. It hums, it breathes, it vibrates. The ancients, the priests of Thoth, the yogis of the Indus, the monks of Tibet knew this secret. They called it the primordial current. And they knew something even more shocking, that a human being could tap into this current and realign their entire energy field with just one act, one moment, one sound. But it is not for the curious. It is not for those who dabble, who rush through the ritual just to see what happens. This is for the ready and the ready alone, because once you activate it, you cannot go back to the life you knew. I still remember the first time I felt it. I was in silence, and then I wasn't. It was as if space itself turned inside out. Like the silence cracked and underneath, there was something alive. It wasn't a sound. It was a presence, a resonance, like the earth itself, had whispered in a language that bypassed my ears and flooded straight into my chest. That was the first sign. When you're close to it, you feel the air thicken, your skin prickle. Time bends, and the thoughts you thought were yours, they vanish like smoke. Only what is true remains. Modern physicists call it the zero-point field, a quantum sea of infinite possibility, existing between all things. But the ancient mystics knew it long before science ever caught up. In Egypt, it was Ka, the vital force. In India, Shakti, the sacred feminine energy behind all manifestation. In Tibet, they whispered of the rainbow body, activated by merging with the vibrational field behind form. And Thoth called it the word before the word. Not a chant, not a mantra, but the sound that precedes all sound. The one that creates reality, not reflects it. Now, here's where it begins. The reason this has remained hidden is because it's too simple, too powerful, too permanent, and it must only be performed once, with absolute presence, or never at all. So now, I ask you, are you ready to perform the act that will change your vibration permanently? You will not need to memorize anything. You will not need crystals or incense or hours of meditation. You only need to follow exactly what I say next. But once you do, your energy field will never be the same. It will ripple outward, and the world around you, people, thoughts, memories, will begin to shift as if pulled by unseen threads. It is not a metaphor. It is the mechanics of vibration. This is not a chant. This is the vibrational key buried beneath language, a single primordial utterance passed down from the emerald temples. It's hard to believe, but a single sound, if made with perfect focus, can fracture the illusion of matter. You've heard of mantras, incantations, prayers, but this is not that. This is a vibrational trigger, once reserved only for high initiates of Thoth. In ancient circles, it was known as Hesh, Talum, the sound that parts the veil. It doesn't mean anything in words. That's the point. Because language is a trap. This sound bypasses the mind entirely and goes straight to your field. I've seen people try to copy it, repeat it like a parrot. And you know what happens? Nothing. Worse, they distort their field. Why? Because they weren't present. They weren't inside the sound when they made it. But if you do this once, just once, with your full essence, your breath, your attention, it will begin to unlock something buried for lifetimes. Let me guide you. Find a quiet space. This is not a game. Sit with your spine straight, not because of posture, but because your energy channels must be aligned. Close your eyes. Now, breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds. Do this 3 times. You may begin now. Now, place your tongue lightly against the roof of your mouth. This connects the 2 rivers of energy in your body, the governing and the conception channels, the ancient loop of manifestation. Then, softly in one long exhale, utter the sound. Hesh Talum. Hesh, like a breath. Tar, from the chest. Lum, from deep in the abdomen. Let it vibrate in your body, not just in your throat. Let it move through you like a serpent uncoiling. Don't repeat it. Just once. And then, sit in silence. Let the field recalibrate. You may feel one of the following. Asterisk. A ringing in the ears. This is the third ear opening. Asterisk. A wave of sadness or joy. Old vibrations breaking. Asterisk. A tingling in the spine or palms. Energy realignment. Asterisk. Or absolutely nothing. Do not chase the sensation. Do not analyze it. Let it do its work in silence. Because the moment you try to explain it, you exit the frequency. Remember this. The field speaks in vibration, not logic. And now, after this one act, the field has been changed. This is not imagination. This is resonance. This is the law. No mystic dares break, for once your vibration shifts, your reality becomes your reflection. They don't warn you about this part. The books, the videos, the gurus, they talk about raising your vibration like it's a party trick. But here's the truth Thoth left inscribed in the emerald glyphs. To alter thy vibration is to summon thy new world. It sounds poetic until it happens. You chant the sound once. You sit in stillness. And then, like a mirror cracking from the center, everything you thought was you starts falling away. Your job feels foreign. Your friends speak in mismatched tones. The foods you loved? Now your body rejects them. Even your memories like shadows out of sync with the sun. And you think, did I do something wrong? Number, you did something right. You broke the cage. Here is the ancient warning. When your inner field changes, your outer life will resist it. Not because it's evil, because it is built on the scaffolding of your old vibration. And when that structure collapses, it will try to rebuild itself using the only frequency it remembers. This is called the mirror field echo, a phenomenon hidden in both Hermetic and Vedic teachings. In modern science, it mirrors the observer effect. The moment you perceive yourself differently, the world must realign to match it, but not without resistance. It's like the sea being forced to shift its tides. It doesn't happen quietly. Let me be raw with you. After I did the ritual, I lost people. I lost beliefs. I even lost the desire to be understood. But in the ashes of that identity, I found the real voice, the one that speaks without words. And more importantly, the world started answering me in that voice. I would think and the thing would appear. I would feel and people would respond before I spoke. I dreamt and awoke with answers not found in any book. Because once the vibration is shifted, you're no longer living inside the world. The world begins to live inside you. But beware the three traps that appear after the shift. Every initiate faces them. You must know their names. 1. The trap of nostalgia. Asterisk. You will crave the comfort of your former self. Asterisk. It's not truth, it's just the echo of your previous frequency. 2. The trap of comparison. Asterisk. You will look at others still asleep and wonder, am I lost? Asterisk number. They are on delay, you are on resonance. 3. The trap of logic. Asterisk. You will try to understand what's happening. Asterisk. But the energy you carry now cannot be analyzed, only lived. This is the moment when linear time bends, when the spiral opens, and your vibration becomes the navigator. Anyone who has ever stood in the dark center of a temple, where sound vanishes and breath echoes like thunder, knows time does not pass, it coils. And those who vibrate at the right frequency can walk the coils. The ancient Egyptians spoke of the Duat, a realm beyond time, where the soul journeys not forward, but inward. The Tibetans teach of the Bardo, not a place, but a state, where moments unfold like petals, not seconds. Even the Mayans inscribed in stone that time is a waveform, not a line. And in all these traditions, one truth repeats. To shift vibration is to shift location in time. What does this mean for you? After performing the sound of Hesh, Talum, you may notice something strange. Déjà vu, but sharper. Dreams that feel like previews. Memories of events that haven't happened yet. That's not coincidence. That's your vibration pulling you out of linear flow. Om. This is called the fold, the space where your frequency starts choosing your timeline. You are no longer following time. You are being followed by it. Let me tell you what happened the third night after I performed the sound. I was journaling, lost in reflection. Suddenly, I looked up, and the clock was exactly 2:22 a.m. The room was perfectly still, and I felt something watching, but not in fear. In a single moment, I saw every major turning point of my life, shifting, blinking, reweaving into something else. It was like the fabric of my story was being rewritten from the inside out. And then, a phrase entered my mind. "You have been moved." I wrote it down. The next day, 3 things I had long let go of: people, opportunities, visions returned, but different. As if time had rerouted them through another thread. You must understand. This isn't magic, it's mechanics. Modern quantum theory now proposes what mystics have always known. That consciousness does not just observe reality, it selects it. Your vibration is the selector. And once you've performed the sound, you're no longer the same selector you were yesterday. This is why even if you try to go back, you'll find that old things no longer recognize you, not because they changed, because your vibration no longer grants you access to those coordinates. Here's your activation for today. 1. Choose one event from your past that you regret or wish to shift. 2. Sit in silence. 3. Whisper, "I dissolve the thread, I retune the coil." 4. Then visualize it unraveling, not being erased, but being retuned to a higher harmonic. Don't expect a sudden flash. Just wait. The field will adjust in ways the mind cannot predict. And when it does, this is the eye behind the eyes, the organ of truth that sees what lies beyond illusion. They call it the third eye, but that's a simplification. The mystics knew better. In Egypt, it was the eye of Horus, not a symbol of protection, but a map of inner activation. In India, the Ajna chakra, the command center, not just of intuition, but of vibrational guidance. The Tibetans, deep in their crystal caves, speak of the sky gate, where the soul peers through the illusion of form. All different names for the same thing. The organ that doesn't see it remembers. Let me be blunt. If you've done the ritual sound, if you've entered the fold, your inner eye is opening whether you like it or not. But here's what they never tell you. Seeing the truth is not always pleasant, because the moment this gate opens, you stop seeing what people say. You start seeing what they vibrate. You stop hearing what you believe. You start hearing what the field is whispering beneath it all. It's like tuning into a deeper signal and realizing how much of your life was static. The first time it happened to me, I looked at a photo of someone I loved, and I saw 1,000 unsaid thoughts wrapped in the corners of their smile. I felt their resentment like a cold wind, and I knew they hadn't even admitted it to themselves. But I saw it, clearly, not with judgment, just with truth. And that moment, I couldn't unsee it. This is the price of the eye. You become a witness, and the world becomes naked in front of you. But it's not all darkness. Once the fog clears, you start to see the codes in everything. Asterisk. The way the leaves bend towards certain frequencies. Asterisk. The subtle change in your heartbeat when truth is near. Asterisk. The golden shimmer around people with aligned energy. Asterisk. The vibrational scent of spaces, some open, others heavy with memory. This is when you realize your sight is no longer human. It's harmonic. And if you follow it, you can move through reality like a tuning fork, activating others just by presence alone. Now, if your vision has begun to stir, you may notice light patterns during meditation. Asterisk. Pressure between the brows. Asterisk. A sudden knowing with no logic. Asterisk. Or deep dreams layered with symbols. Do not dismiss them. These are the whispers of the eye. Here's what to do next. 1. Each night, before sleep, press your fingers gently between your eyebrows. 2. Whisper the word Nuru, Tek, an Atlantean syllable meaning light within shadow. 3. Breathe slowly and ask, "Show me what I've refused to see." Then dream. And upon waking, write whatever comes, no matter how strange. You are entering the realm where truth cannot be spoken, only felt. And once you open the gate, it begins revealing everything. If this resonates with you, type below, "I see through the veil," because what comes next is no longer about vision, but about energy mastery. This is the silent force behind all manifestation, the invisible signature that commands reality without a single word. Most people beg, some pray, a few visualize, but the awakened, they vibrate, they do not ask, they resonate, and the universe must respond. Because in the teachings of Thoth, there is a law older than gravity, the law of vibrational authority. It states, that which holds the highest consistent vibration becomes the dominant field. All lesser fields must align, dissolve, or depart. It's not magic, it's physics. If you master this, you'll never need to chase again. Jobs, love, health, synchronicity, they begin to find you like metal drawn to a magnetic core. But here's the secret no one tells you. Your words mean nothing if your field is weak. You can scream abundance all day, but if your vibration is stuck in fear, the universe only hears the static. In ancient temples, initiates were taught to sit in silence for 77 days before uttering a single intention. Why? Because they knew, only when the field speaks first should the mouth follow. I remember the moment I discovered this. I had done the sound. I had felt the fold. The eye had opened, but I was still waiting for something to happen. One night, frustrated, I sat cross-legged and whispered, "Why hasn't anything changed?" The answer wasn't in words. It was a sensation, like a pressure radiating from my chest outward. A realization struck. You're still projecting doubt, cloaked as desire. And with that, I went quiet. I stopped commanding. Instead, I began holding a vibration, one of gratitude, as if it had already happened. That week, the shift began. Emails, calls, money, encounters, they moved to match me. Not because I acted, but because I became the dominant field. So here is your initiation. 1. Choose one intention, only one. Something your heart aches for. 2. Write it down not as a desire, but as a declaration. I am the field where it already exists. 3. Now, sit in stillness for 2 minutes every morning. Not to visualize, not to ask, but to emit the vibration of someone who already holds it. If done with presence, you'll notice the shift within 3 days. But beware, you must not speak about your intention during this period. Words dilute the field. Keep it sacred. Let the energy do the work. If you feel the authority rising within you, not ego, not willpower, but still resonance. This is the vibration that existed before light, the tone from which galaxies were born, now hidden in your very breath. It's not a metaphor, there is a sound buried inside you. Not a voice, not a thought, but a frequency so ancient that even the stars once danced to its rhythm. In the temples of Egypt, Thoth taught that this frequency was the source code of reality. In Sanskrit, they called it Nad Brahma, sound is God. The Aboriginals speak of songlines, vibrational maps that created the world. And in the East, the Taoists whispered of the unstruck sound, the one that never stops, even in silence. What is this frequency? It is not 528 Hz. It is not a number on a tuning fork. It is the resonance of you when you are fully aligned, and it is different for every initiate. But it can be heard once the inner noise is cleared. Here's the shocking truth. The sacred frequency is not something you play. It's something you become. The first time I heard mine, I wasn't trying. I was lying in the grass, exhausted, empty. Suddenly, everything went still. No birds, no wind, just a tone. So soft, yet so full. I thought the earth itself was humming. It wasn't from outside. It came from deep within my body, like my cells were singing, like the very atoms had remembered something I had forgotten. It lasted 7 seconds, but I wept for hours, not from sadness, from recognition. It was me. Before names, before wounds, before timelines. This is what happens after the law of vibrational authority activates. Your field begins to reveal its original tone. You may notice asterisk, a spontaneous humming in your chest, asterisk, sounds in meditation that have no source, asterisk, dream fragments with songs or syllables, asterisk, or sudden waves of resonance in silence. These are breadcrumbs, And here's the key. To activate your sacred frequency, you must stop trying to find it, and instead, release everything that is not it. Here is the ritual. 1. Sit in complete silence, preferably at night, with no light. 2. Breathe deeply, but naturally. 3. Place both hands on your chest. 4. Whisper slowly. Reveal the tone beneath my name, then say nothing. Wait. Breathe. And if nothing comes, that is perfect. If a vibration stirs, even better. But your job is not to summon it. Your job is to be still enough for it to return. And when it does, even once, your life will change, because you will no longer walk the world guessing. You'll be walking to your own frequency, your cosmic signature. Once you feel the hum, even faintly, write this below. The tone is awakening, because after this, we step into the most dangerous and divine part of the journey. The part where the world begins to echo you back. This is the moment when the world stops being separate, when reality begins to echo your vibration back to you like a living mirror. They say, as within, so without. But few truly understand what that means. Until the echo begins. The ancients called it the second sound. Not because you make it, but because reality starts whispering you back to yourself. It can feel strange, even terrifying. You think of someone they call. You feel drawn to a word, it appears on a billboard. You imagine a symbol, and it surfaces in a stranger's tattoo. You release a fear, and suddenly the obstacle vanishes. And you wonder, am I making this happen, or am I just noticing it more? The answer? Both. Because now, the field is alive with your signature. Let me describe what happened 3 days after I aligned with my sacred frequency. I was walking through a market I'd never visited before. Someone was singing a strange, foreign melody. Then it hit me. The melody was the exact tone I'd heard in silence 2 nights earlier. Same rhythm, same pull in my chest. I turned, the singer wasn't facing me. But as I stood there, motionless, she stopped, turned her head and looked at me like she knew me, then smiled. No words, just recognition. The kind that says, you're in the frequency now. What's happening here? You've become what Thoth called the resonant pillar, no longer a seeker. You are now a signal, and the universe begins to orbit you. This is not ego. This is law. Modern science now understands that consciousness alters the field it observes. What they don't yet grasp is that vibration is the steering wheel. Once you shift your internal tone, the external world must match it. It is not optional. It is mechanical, but only if your frequency is consistent. Oat. This is where most people fall. They taste the magic, then fear pulls them back. The echo stops. The veil returns. Here's your practice to keep the echo alive. 1. At dawn or dusk, the 2 thinnest veils stand outside barefoot if possible. 2. Close your eyes. 3. Whisper your sacred syllable or tone from earlier. If none has come, repeat softly, I am the field. 4. Then say, show me the echo. Now, wait. Do not look for signs. Do not try to force synchronicity. Just move through your day. But stay alert, because reality will begin speaking your language, through timing, symbols, strangers, or sudden clarity. And when it happens, you'll know, because the moment you smile, reality will smile back. If this has begun for you, even in small ways, right below, the echo has begun. Because after this, you must prepare for the most difficult test of all, not in the world around you, but in the frequency of your own thoughts. This is the silent sabotage, the vibration that cancels all others. It doesn't come from outside, it's the voice within. You've felt the shift, you've heard the tone, you've seen the echo, but now, the mind begins to fight back. Why? Because the ego does not survive in the new vibration. You must understand, your thoughts are not just ideas, they are frequencies, and many of them were installed by fear. In the Emerald Tablets, Thoth warned, beware the thought that whispers like a friend but carries the weight of your former self. It's elegant, it's tricky, and it sounds just like you. Let me explain what happens. You've opened your field. The universe begins responding. Then suddenly, maybe this is all coincidence. You probably imagined that sound. Be careful, people will think you're crazy. What if this doesn't last? And just like that, Each, the field collapses, not because the vibration stopped, but because the dominant frequency returned to fear. This is the thought trap, a vibrational virus that enters through doubt, logic, memory, or shame. I fell into it. I admit it. After weeks of alignment, I began analyzing. I started writing it all down, trying to map it, to measure it, to control it. The more I tried to control it, the more it slipped. And one night, I tried to perform the sacred sound again, out of desperation. Nothing happened. Why? Because the vibration cannot be summoned by fear. It only flows through surrender. I had to stop, let go, and rebuild my field from silence. That's when I learned the ancient solution. Do not silence your thoughts. Let your vibration be so strong that the thoughts cannot touch it. So here is your psychic shield. 1. Choose one core vibration you want to hold: love, trust, joy, stillness. 2. Write it. One word. Just one. 3. For the next 7 days, when thoughts come to question or erode your field, say this aloud. I return to your word. Not I choose it. Not I hope for it. But I return. Why? Because it was always yours. This command realigns the field in 3 seconds. Not because it fixes the thought, but because it overrides it with a stronger tone. And if the thoughts become louder, don't panic. It means the old frequency is dying. Let it. You're not losing your mind. You're reprogramming it. This is the end of seeking the sacred pause where all energy gathers and miracles unfold not by effort, but by presence. You've been taught your whole life to act, to fix, to chase. But the mystics knew something different. They knew that the highest vibration isn't motion, it's stillness. In the center of the galaxy is a black hole. In the center of the atom, empty space. And at the center of your being, if you go deep enough, you will find what the emerald tablets called the Eye of Silence. This is not a metaphor. It is the most powerful state of vibration, because in this state, you are no longer trying to shape reality. You are letting it shape itself around you. Here's the paradox. After everything, the sound, the breath, the visions, the echoes, you must now stop, truly stop. Because if you act from desire, the desire speaks. If you act from fear, the fear speaks. But when you act from stillness, the source speaks. Let me tell you what happened the first time I found this still point. I was exhausted, spiritually burned out. I had tried every technique, read every ancient text, pushed my body to the edge. So I gave up. Not in defeat, but in surrender. I sat by a window. No music, no incense, no posture. And I whispered. I released the need to change anything. Then, nothing. Not bliss, not light. Just a quiet so deep it rang in my bones. And from that space, something moved through me. Not a thought, not a command. Just a direction. Simple, clear. I followed it. And in 3 days, everything I had tried to force for years unfolded on its own. Because I had become the still axis around which reality turned. Here is your final ritual. You may only do this once. Just once. 1. Sit in complete stillness. 2. Do not breathe in any pattern. Do not chant. Do not focus. 3. Simply whisper once. I am the still point. 4. Then, let go of everything. No intention. No waiting. Not even listening. Just be. And when you return, you may feel nothing. Or you may feel a void so vast it feels like home. That void is not absence. It is potential. It is the quantum silence from which your next life will emerge. You've done the sound. You've opened the field. You've faced the thought trap. You've reached the still point. Now, do nothing and watch the miracle happen. If you feel the shift not as an emotion, but as a new way of being, then right below, I have reached the still point. This will signal to the field that the resonance is complete. And now, you are no longer a seeker. You are the source. If you felt something awaken during this journey, subscribe not for updates, but to enter the frequency. Like not for numbers, but to echo your vibration. Share not to promote, but to pass the torch to the next one who is ready. And most importantly, comment your confirmation to seal the ritual. I have activated. The journey has begun. I have reached the still point. This is more than a video. It's a vibrational field, and every interaction amplifies it not for ego, but for the awakening. We are gathering, and we will remember what the world tried to make us forget. You did it. Now, do nothing, and watch the miracle begin.